Chosen one. Heaven has been watching in silence. Every time you chose what was right instead of what was easy, every quiet yes that cost you comfort, God recorded it. You didn't compromise when compromise would have been rewarded. You didn't chase approval when rejection was easier to bear. You stood firm, not because it was popular, but because it was righteous. And now, the atmosphere of your life begins to shift. Because divine favor always locates the obedient, there were nights you wondered if it mattered. You questioned whether walking away instead of fighting back made you weak. But the heavens whisper, now you did the right thing. The unseen world took notice. When you chose peace over proving your point, when you forgave without apology, when you trusted without evidence, those moments became seeds in eternity. You thought, no one saw, but God did. The scriptures remind us in the book of Psalms, chapter 84, verse 11, for the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. And that verse now breathes over you like morning light. You have walked uprightly, even when your path was lonely. You stood your ground when your name was misunderstood. You didn't seek revenge, you chose righteousness. And because of that, favor has found your address. You are about to witness a reversal. What once resisted you will now recognize you. You see, heaven doesn't forget silent obedience. God's timing often hides reward until your heart is ready to carry it. You thought delay meant denial, but it was divine protection. The season that felt like silence was actually preparation. Every unseen decision was a spiritual investment, and the returns are now beginning to unfold. The Spirit of God says, your obedience was louder than your pain. Every time you wanted to react but chose restraint, you spoke heaven's language. Every tear you offered, instead of anger, was incense before the throne. Now, the fragrance of your faith is drawing favor toward you. You didn't miss your moment, you positioned yourself for it. The very thing you lost will not compare to what's being released. When others mocked your patience, heaven called it maturity. When they called you weak, God called you wise. The quiet ones who chose truth will always be lifted by unseen hands. Look around, the shift has already begun. People who once overlooked you will sense something different. Not arrogance, but an authority that comes from alignment. You carry evidence of heaven's approval now. Doors that resisted you before will open easily, because the key was never force, it was faithfulness. Chosen one. Don't regret your restraint. Don't question your silence. You didn't lose momentum, you gained divine momentum. The path of integrity may look narrow, but it leads straight to favor. The reward is not only coming, it's already here, wrapping around your life like a mantle. Remember, favor isn't random. It's the response of heaven to obedience. You have been tested in secret, and now you will be rewarded in public. There is no competition in your lane. What's yours carries your name. Every delay, every denial, every disappointment was shaping the character needed to handle the blessing. Listen carefully, this is your confirmation. You didn't do it in vain. The time you chose forgiveness over pride was the moment heaven said, now I can trust this one. That trust has opened a gate of acceleration. Things will begin to move swiftly, but you will feel peace, not pressure, because this time, it's not by striving, it's by favor. You have stepped into a new rhythm of grace. You won't have to chase opportunities. They will recognize the oil on you. You won't have to fight for validation. Your obedience already validated you before God. You did the right thing. And now, divine favor stands beside you like a guardian. If this word touches your spirit, pause right here, like this message. Share it with someone who needs to remember that obedience is never wasted. And subscribe to stay connected to the flow of what heaven is releasing for the chosen ones. Comment 111 below as your prophetic declaration, the number that seals your obedience in the light of divine favor. Your name is being whispered in rooms you've never entered. God is aligning hearts and voices to speak in your favor. Every delay was divine choreography now. The doors are opening on cue. Walk boldly into this new chapter. You have heaven's endorsement. What's ahead will not require striving. It will flow with ease. Because God Himself goes before you with favor as your banner. You have carried a weight few could understand. While others saw only your calm, heaven saw the storm within. You walked through seasons where obedience felt like loss, where silence felt like surrender. And yet you kept moving. Every step, even the trembling ones, was an act of faith. The pain did not disqualify you, it purified you. You learned to trust without answers, to love without guarantees, to wait without proof. And because of that, God's favor now rests upon you like morning dew, quiet, gentle, but undeniable. There were nights when you asked, was it worth it? You questioned the purpose of your suffering, the reason for your restraint. But what felt like abandonment was actually God's assurance. When He hides you, it's not rejection, it's refinement. You were being trained in silence for the voice of authority. Every heartbreak was a classroom. Every delay was a teacher. Every disappointment was a furnace where your faith was tested and strengthened. The voice of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." That promise was not written for a moment of comfort, but for seasons like yours, when fear whispered louder than faith, when loneliness seemed endless, when obedience felt like walking through fire. Yet, even then, you were not abandoned. God was walking beside you, even when He stayed silent. His presence was not in the noise, but in the stillness. You carried burdens others would have collapsed under. You smiled through betrayal, prayed through confusion, and served through rejection. Heaven took notice. The scars you hide are marks of endurance, proof that you refuse to quit. They do not diminish your beauty, they prove your calling. Every wound that healed became a window for light to pass through. Now, that same light will lead others out of darkness. You see, not everyone can handle the kind of testing you've faced. Some would have turned bitter. You chose better. Some would have walked away from God. You walked deeper into Him. You didn't allow pain to harden you. You let it make you holy. That choice alone set you apart. That's why you are called a chosen one, not because of perfection, but because of persistence. Heaven celebrates quiet strength. The moments no one applauded were the moments God applauded most. He watched you forgive again and again. When no apology ever came, He saw you stay kind in the face of cruelty, gentle in the presence of pride. Those moments wrote your name on the pages of divine remembrance. The favor that now surrounds you isn't luck, it's legacy. And though you didn't realize it then, your endurance built spiritual authority. You speak differently now. You move differently. Your words carry weight because they were forged in waiting. You can discern what others overlook because you learn to see with faith instead of sight. That is what makes you unstoppable, the ability to believe when there is nothing left to believe in but God Himself. Now, that inner strength will begin to manifest outwardly. The heaviness you once carried will become fuel for others' healing. Where you once felt invisible, you will now become a light others are drawn to. It won't be through noise or effort, but through the quiet power of grace. You have become living evidence that obedience is never wasted and suffering never goes unnoticed. Do not be surprised when restoration begins to touch every area of your life. Relationships will realign. Opportunities will reappear. And even memories that once hurt will now carry peace. God is rewriting the narrative, and every page now echoes redemption. What was meant to break you only built the foundation for your next assignment. Chosen one. You did not just survive, you were shaped. You emerged with vision sharper, spirit stronger, and faith deeper. What once drained you now disciplines you. The tears that once blurred your sight have become the lenses of wisdom. This is the paradox of divine favor. It often arrives after the fire. But when it comes to stay. So stand tall. The weight you carried has become your witness. The same people who questioned your silence will one day marvel at your strength, and you will smile. Not with pride, but with peace, because you'll know that every ache, every delay, every lonely decision was worth it. You chose obedience over ease, and heaven responded with favor. There are seasons when no applause follows your obedience, when your kindness is met with silence, when your integrity costs you comfort, when you walk the narrow path and no one says, "Well done." Yet, those are the very moments heaven celebrates most. The quiet rooms where you chose what was right are the holy places of destiny. You were not performing for people, you were worshipping through obedience. Heaven saw when you prayed for the ones who wounded you. Heaven recorded when you stayed humble in victory and gentle in pain. Every unseen choice became a line in your divine story. You did not lose anything by being faithful. You gained eternal favor. The silence around you was not emptiness. It was God watching, measuring, and smiling in secret. The Word of God speaks through the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. And that is exactly what you did. You acknowledged Him not with loud words, but with quiet surrender. You didn't need to prove your faith, you lived it. That is why your path is now being directed toward places you didn't even know existed. The same God who saw your hidden obedience is now rearranging circumstances to honor it. Your story is a testimony that the unseen matters. When you chose patience instead of pride, forgiveness instead of fury, trust instead of control, you were building foundations heaven could bless. It's easy to obey when eyes are watching. It's sacred to obey when no one sees. You did the latter, and that's why the reward that's coming will carry the fragrance of heaven itself. Every private battle has prepared you for a public breakthrough. Every silent tear watered the soil of your next season. You thought you were being buried, but you were being planted. And now, what grew in darkness will bloom in light. The season of silence was your spiritual training ground. You learned to depend on whispers instead of shouts, on presence instead of proof. You learned that God's approval outweighs the applause of men. That kind of maturity cannot be taught. It can only be formed in waiting. And now, because you waited well, the weight of glory can safely rest upon you. When God rewards, He does so in ways that silence the critics and magnify His faithfulness. You won't need to defend yourself. Favor will defend you. You won't need to prove your worth. Fruit will speak. Heaven will showcase what earth tried to hide. Chosen one, do not underestimate what you built in secret. The prayers you whispered, the sacrifices you made, the tears you hid, they were the raw materials of your anointing. And now, heaven is turning those moments into miracles. You will soon recognize divine fingerprints on every opportunity, every restoration, every open door. When the reward appears, don't rush to say, "Finally." Instead, whisper, "Faithfully," because this is not just a result, it's a reflection of who you've become. You were faithful in the shadows, and now you are being trusted with light. Comment, "He saw me because He did." He saw every moment you chose righteousness when compromise was easier. He saw you walk away from what glittered but wasn't gold. When you type those words, you're not seeking validation. You're making a declaration, "I am known by God." And that is enough. That simple statement unlocks peace. It reminds your heart that no obedience goes unnoticed, and no integrity goes unrewarded. Heaven has always had eyes on you, not to judge, but to protect, to favor, and to bless in due time. Your silent obedience has spoken louder than any defense ever could. And now, heaven responds. You were seen, and the season of reward begins. Your reward will not arrive quietly. It will arrive with clarity. God is about to make visible what was once invisible. Every silent yes is turning into a visible blessing. This is not luck. It's divine justice. Heaven is repaying what you thought was lost. The tables are turning in your favor, perfectly timed by the author of your destiny. Do not shrink when favor finds you. You earned this by faithfulness. Accept the blessings boldly, knowing they were shaped for your obedience, not for your perfection. Every delay served its purpose. The waiting purified your motives and prepared your hands. Now that the time has come, nothing and no one can stop what heaven has scheduled. So when you see doors open effortlessly, remember they open because of what you carried in secret. Your quiet endurance has become your loud testimony of divine favor fulfilled. There comes a moment in every journey when obedience collides with destiny. That moment rarely looks grand. It often arrives disguised as a decision that feels small, ordinary, almost invisible. But heaven knows the weight of those quiet yeses. The single act of obedience that seemed insignificant at the time shifted something in the unseen realm. One decision, your decision, altered the path of your future. The world may measure success by results, but heaven measures it by response. When you said yes in faith, God began to rearrange entire timelines around you. You thought you were simply choosing integrity. In truth, you were unlocking doors that generations after you will walk through. That one act of surrender became a seed planted in eternity. It was not easy. There were moments when your obedience cost you comfort, companionship, and certainty. People misunderstood your silence, questioned your choices, and even mocked your faith. You felt the weight of isolation pressing against your heart. Yet, within that solitude, God was shaping something unshakable inside you, a faith that could not be bribed by approval or broken by rejection. The ancient words in the first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22, declare, "To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams." Those words echo through time to meet you here. They remind you that obedience is never about convenience, it is about alignment. You obeyed, not to earn favor, but because your heart belonged to truth. And now, heaven answers that obedience with favor so undeniable it cannot be hidden. That one moment of obedience became your turning point. You may not have seen it then, but when you chose to trust God instead of your own understanding, the atmosphere shifted. Chains began to break quietly. Delays that once felt endless began to make sense. It was as though heaven took a deep breath and said, "Now I can move." Obedience is never wasted energy. It's divine architecture. Every yes you gave built something in the spirit. One invisible brick at a time. You were constructing the framework of your destiny. The structure was rising even when you couldn't see it. And now, it's nearly complete. The walls of delay are giving way to the gates of favor. This is what obedience does. It turns wilderness paths into highways of glory. You didn't realize it, but every time you obeyed, you were reprogramming your future. The very things that once seemed impossible began to respond to the sound of your surrender. Because heaven listens when obedience speaks. Look back for a moment and see how far that one decision has carried you. The moments you nearly gave up. The tears you thought were wasted. The confusion that made you doubt each piece was part of the turning. Had you not said yes, you would not be standing here in this new light. It's often in the middle of uncertainty that obedience shines the brightest. You didn't know how it would work out, but you chose to believe anyway. You walked through the unknown with trembling hands, but with a steady heart. That courage moved the heart of God. He delights in faith that stands when sight fails. And now, that obedience has birthed divine acceleration. What once moved slowly will begin to move swiftly. Where there was resistance, there will now be release. The divine order that was waiting for your yes has been activated, and the ripple is reaching into every area of your life. Understand this. Obedience doesn't just change circumstances, it changes identity. You are no longer who you were before that. Yes, you carry a new authority, a weight of presence that others can sense but not explain. It is the residue of alignment, the fragrance of one who said yes when it mattered most. Heaven has marked you differently. You are not the same person who once hesitated between faith and fear. The old doubts have lost their voice, and in their place, a quiet confidence has taken root. You no longer question if you can trust God. Now you know you can. What lies ahead is the reward of that revelation. Your obedience unlocked movement. The timing is no longer delayed because the condition has been fulfilled. You passed the test not through perfection, but through persistence. Heaven honors persistence. It is the sign of those who have truly been refined by fire. So walk forward without fear. The turning point has already occurred. Even if your eyes have not yet seen it, the unseen world has already adjusted itself around your yes. The road before you is no longer filled with obstacles, but with ordained opportunities. Obedience turned the key. Now, favor walks freely through the open door. Heaven keeps records, even of the things you forgot. Every quiet prayer, every hidden act of generosity, every time you chose love when it cost you comfort, God wrote it down. There are ledgers in heaven, filled not with numbers, but with your moments of faithfulness. And now those pages are speaking in your favor. You are entering the chapter called Reward. This is the mystery of divine accounting. Nothing given in sincerity is ever lost. Not time, not tears, not even the smallest gesture of kindness. Every seed you planted in obedience, whether it was forgiveness, encouragement, or faith, has been multiplying beneath the surface. You may not see the full harvest yet, but heaven is moving roots where eyes cannot see. It was written long ago in the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10. God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. You see, heaven has never overlooked your offering of heart. Every time you helped someone carry their burden, you were sowing into eternity. Every time you spoke kindness instead of complaint, you were shaping your future atmosphere. Favor follows such people because they carry heaven's fragrance. Now, that fragrance is starting to attract what belongs to you. Divine favor is gathering around your name. People, opportunities, and blessings are beginning to find their way toward you. Not because of luck, but because of alignment. You didn't know it, but you were part of something larger, heaven's cycle of giving and receiving. Just as rain does not fall to enrich itself, but to water the earth, your obedience has watered lives beyond your reach. And now, the clouds you filled with generosity are about to rain back upon you. Chosen one. This is a sacred reminder. Nothing you release in love ever returns empty. What you give becomes a current that moves through the kingdom. It lifts others, heals hearts, and returns multiplied, wrapped in favor. That's why even the smallest act, done with sincerity, carries power. When you like these words, it's as if you are striking a match that keeps the flame of faith alive for someone else lost in darkness. When you share this message, think of it as releasing a dove into the world. Its wings may carry hope to a heart that has forgotten how to fly. When you subscribe, it is not just joining a channel, it's choosing to stand inside a continual flow of truth. A river of words that keeps the spirit hydrated. And if your heart ever feels stirred to go beyond, to donate, to sow into the message that's been speaking life into you, imagine it as adding oil to a lamp that has guided you through the night. The flame already burns. Your gift simply helps it shine further, reaching hearts you may never meet. You are not buying favor. Favor is already upon you. You are simply choosing to multiply light. Just as a candle loses nothing when it lights another, giving to the kingdom never diminishes, it expands. What leaves your hand in faith never leaves your life. It simply changes form, becoming peace, protection, provision. If you ever feel led to support, do it from the overflow of gratitude, not pressure. Let it be your thank you note to heaven. Every contribution, no matter how small, becomes a seed in the soil of eternity. You might not see its bloom immediately, but heaven does not forget where seeds are planted. And while you do, keep sharing this word so that others may find the same confirmation that found you. Press like, not as a ritual, but as an echo of agreement. Subscribe if you wish to walk deeper in these moments of revelation. to stay connected to what heaven is releasing through this space. Every click, every share, every seed of support is an act of partnership with what God is doing right now. You become part of the flow spreading hope where despair has lived too long, reminding others that obedience still matters, and that favor still falls upon those who choose light. The same favor that found you will flow through you. You are not just a receiver, you are a vessel. The more you pour, the more heaven fills. The more you give of yourself, the more space is created for grace to overflow. So continue walking with that open heart. Let your obedience remain pure. Your giving remain joyful. Your spirit remain free. Heaven never forgets the hands that serve and the hearts that sow. May everything you give time, faith, kindness, or support return to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For favor has already chosen your name. You have felt the wind shifting, haven't you? The air around your life feels lighter, as if something invisible has been lifted. That is the movement of divine approval. God has breathed over what you built in secret. And now, what was once hidden will begin to rise. You may not see it fully yet, but the ground beneath your obedience is trembling with new life. You did not chase the spotlight, yet the light is finding you. You didn't demand attention, yet heaven has placed a mark upon you that cannot be erased. Every seed planted in faith is now responding to the sound of heaven's command. Grow. What once looked buried was never dead. It was being prepared for a greater unveiling. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 31, verse 3. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Those words are the melody of your season. You are being drawn now, not pushed, not pressured, but gently pulled by the kindness of God into places that match your growth. The very love that carried you through silence is now carrying you into favor. When God breathes on something, acceleration begins quietly. One conversation, one opportunity, one open door, and suddenly everything feels as though it's catching up to a promise long delayed. But don't be surprised by this speed. Favor does not follow human timing, it follows readiness. You are ready now. There were years when you worked without applause, when effort met resistance and prayer met silence. But those years were your roots. A tree does not apologize for the seasons when it seemed invisible underground. It simply allows time to reveal its strength. That's what you have done. You trusted through invisibility, and now the fruit is inevitable. Chosen one. Heaven says, you are marked for movement. The wind of God is upon your plans, your dreams, your calling. What was slow will move swiftly, and what once felt impossible will begin to unfold naturally. This is not random success. It is divine synchronization. Heaven and earth are aligning around your obedience. The places where you felt resistance will now feel like release. The walls that confined you will become platforms that define you. The voices that doubted you will soon speak of you, not because you sought validation, but because favor speaks louder than reputation. Remember this, favor is not fragile. It cannot be stolen by envy or delayed by disbelief. What God breathes upon cannot be undone by human opinion. You don't have to prove yourself. You only need to remain positioned. Stay humble. Stay grateful. Stay aligned. This next season will require less striving and more sensitivity. Listen for direction more than instruction. The same wind that lifts a bird's wings does not shout, it whispers. You will feel when to move, when to rest, when to speak, when to stay silent. Trust that inner leading. It is the rhythm of divine favor. Even now, heaven is arranging people and moments to intersect with your journey. You may meet someone by accident who unlocks the next chapter of your purpose. You may step into places that seem ordinary, but are charged with divine timing. Every detail is being orchestrated with precision. And while all of this unfolds, remember, this is the reward for quiet endurance. You didn't rush. You didn't force. You simply stayed faithful when others quit. Now, the same God who watched you in the waiting is preparing to display His glory through your story. Take this moment to breathe. You don't need to fear what comes next. You are walking in rhythm with grace itself. The pressure you once felt to make things happen has been replaced with peace. The weight has shifted from your shoulders to His hands. Favor is like wind. You cannot see it, but you can feel it move everything around you. Doors, hearts, and circumstances respond to it. You will notice divine ease replacing old effort. That's the evidence of God's breath upon your life. If this word finds your spirit and you can feel that gentle confirmation rising inside you, don't question it. You are not imagining the shift, you are experiencing it. Heaven is moving on your behalf right now. Comment 999 below. It's more than a number. It's a signal of completion and divine fullness. It says, what was promised is now maturing. What was delayed is now due. By typing 999, you agree with heaven's timing, declaring that your waiting season has ended and favor is fully active. As you, though, expect the unexpected. Favor will show up in places you never looked, through people you never planned for, in ways you never imagined. You've been faithful in the quiet. Now, God is faithful in the open. The winds of divine approval are carrying your name across horizons. You are not chasing breakthrough anymore. You are being carried into it. There is a sacred stillness before every divine reversal. You are standing in that silence now, the pause between endurance and evidence. It feels calm. But beneath that calm, heaven is rearranging everything that once resisted you. The tables are turning, not with noise or conflict, but with quiet authority. You don't need to defend yourself. God is already doing that on your behalf. The same eyes that once overlooked you are beginning to notice the light on your life. But this time, you won't have to explain yourself. You won't need to justify the season you've survived. The fruit will speak for itself. Those who questioned your motives will witness your miracles. Those who misunderstood your silence will watch as God vindicates you without your effort. Vindication is not revenge, it's restoration. God is not proving who you are to others. He's reminding you of who you've always been. You didn't lose value when you were rejected. You were being hidden for the right moment. What seemed like a step backward was only God pulling you back like an arrow to shoot you further than before. The writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 6, declare, He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. That is the season you've entered, the rising of your righteousness. The light that once seemed dim is breaking forth without permission. You no longer need to strive for recognition, because heaven has scheduled your revelation. God Himself will announce what He has been building within you. It's a strange thing when favor begins to speak louder than explanation. You will feel the shift in rooms where you once felt small. The same voice that once trembled in uncertainty will carry authority. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. When heaven backs your name, even your silence carries weight. Those who once dismissed you will find themselves drawn to what you carry, not because you changed to fit their expectation, but because you became unshakably yourself. That's what vindication does. It restores your confidence in the God who never forgot. There's a divine rhythm to justice. It doesn't rush, it reveals. While others were busy building their platforms, you were building character. And now, God is setting the stage where character becomes the platform. The reward will not look like revenge. It will look like peace. The proof of victory is not shouting over your enemies, it's sleeping without fear. Chosen one. The tables turning in your favor are not just about visibility, they're about validation. Heaven is confirming what the earth denied. Every closed door that confused you will now reveal its purpose. Some were not rejection, they were redirection. Some were not punishment, they were protection. God never wastes a waiting season. Every delay became divine training. Every disappointment became preparation. And now, those very experiences will serve as the foundation for what's being built. You will recognize that what once broke you was actually making space for what you prayed for. There is a calm confidence that comes when you realize you don't need to be proven right. God Himself becomes your defender. You no longer chase clarity from people, you rest in the clarity of peace. When favor speaks, misunderstanding becomes irrelevant. This reversal will not just bless you, it will heal the perception of those who doubted you. They will see that it was never about you versus them. It was always about God's faithfulness proving itself through your endurance. You are the evidence that patience is never wasted, that integrity never expires, and that quiet obedience always produces loud results. Look closely at your life right now. The evidence of turning has already begun. The same places that once brought pain will bring confirmation. The same names that caused tears will one day speak of your strength. You won't have to seek justice. It's already walking toward you. Every wrong turn, every false accusation, every missed opportunity is now finding its redemption point. God never forgot the details. He has been weaving them together. And now the pattern is finally becoming clear. What once felt chaotic is revealing itself as orchestration. You are not entering a season of explanation. You are stepping into manifestation. This is what it looks like when heaven takes sides. The tables are not turning slowly, they are turning with precision. What was once heavy will now feel light. The burden of proving yourself is gone because the blessing itself will do the talking. So, walk forward with peace. You are not vindictive, you are vindicated. You do not need to announce what God is already revealing. Simply remain steady and grateful. The storm that once surrounded you has turned into the wind that carries your name forward. The turning has begun. You won't need to lift your hand. Grace has already done the work. There comes a point when favor begins to flow, and it feels as if everything starts to respond to your presence. Doors that were once locked open gently, and people who once doubted you begin to see something they cannot quite explain. It isn't luck. It isn't coincidence. It's divine response, the universe bending to the whisper of heaven that says, "It's time. You have stepped into that current now. It's not something you force, it's something you recognize. The same God who watched you sow in tears is now causing you to reap in joy. The energy around you is shifting because favor changes the atmosphere. Where there was resistance, there is now release. Where there was confusion, there is now clarity. The ancient words recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 5. Speak clearly, then you will look and be radiant. Your heart will throb and swell with joy. For the wealth of the seas will be brought to you, and the riches of the nations will come to you. And this verse is not just about material abundance, it's about recognition. You are stepping into a season where what belongs to you will finally begin to recognize you. Ideas, resources, and opportunities that once drifted past you will start circling back, as if drawn by invisible gravity. That's the pull of divine favor. It calls things home. You will notice subtle changes first. Conversations that used to feel forced now unfold effortlessly. People begin to speak your name in rooms you've never entered. Connections align naturally, without manipulation. These are signs that heaven has authorized your advancement. The current of grace is carrying you where striving once failed. The beauty of favor is that it makes the complex simple. It straightens the crooked lines and removes the unnecessary noise. You no longer need to chase opportunities. You simply position yourself to receive them. Favor does not require a fight, it requires readiness. And you, chosen one, are ready. The things that once seemed out of reach will now begin to approach you. It's as though creation itself has received new instructions concerning you. Your name has been marked by divine handwriting, and everything connected to your destiny is being magnetized toward you. You are not forcing outcomes, you are attracting alignment. Remember, though, that favor is never meant to inflate ego, it's meant to reveal purpose. The flow that surrounds you now isn't just for your comfort, it's for your calling. You are being positioned to carry blessings that will bless others. What comes to you must also flow through you. That is the law of divine stewardship. This is why God can trust you with increase, because you learned how to remain grounded during decrease. You know how to stay humble when heaven expands your reach. You've proven that you can be elevated without becoming arrogant, visible without losing vision. As favor increases, so does responsibility. There will be moments when others will look to you for guidance, comfort, or hope. Do not shrink from that. The same grace that lifted you will teach you how to lift others. Your story of survival will become someone else's instruction manual for faith. You were chosen not only to receive favor, but to distribute it. Let every new blessing remind you of the journey that led here, the tears, the trials, the waiting. They all became soil for this harvest. You are not walking into something new by accident. You are walking into something you prepared for long ago. Every act of obedience has brought you here. And yet, favor does not mean ease. It means divine assistance. There will still be challenges, but they will no longer break you. The same grace that opened the door will help you walk through it with wisdom. You won't just survive the blessing, you'll sustain it. This flow of favor is not seasonal, it's foundational. It doesn't depend on circumstances, but on covenant. As long as you remain aligned, it will continue. Even when opposition arises, favor will speak louder. It's not a momentary spotlight, it's a permanent mark of divine partnership. So rest, but stay alert. Move, but with peace. Trust, but without fear. You are in rhythm with something bigger than yourself, the heartbeat of heaven pulsing through your purpose. Soon, you'll look around and realize that everything has changed. Not suddenly, but steadily, quietly. Favor has done what striving never could, and when you trace back the path, you'll find one truth shining above them all. Grace was working all along. You are the evidence. Not just that God exists, but that His favor still finds those who obey in silence. Look at your life closely. The transformation you've walked through is not coincidence. It is divine design. You are standing as living proof that obedience births glory, that quiet faith builds loud results. People who once pitied you will now see purpose in your pain. Those who thought you were finished will watch God write a new chapter in your story. You don't need to explain how you made it through. Your peace will explain it for you. The presence that surrounds you now is not ordinary. It's heaven's signature upon your life. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 7, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay, to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us." That is what you carry now, the treasure of transformation. It's not about perfection, it's about proof. You are the jar that once cracked under pressure, now filled with divine power that leaks light wherever you go. Your scars have become sermons, and your survival has become strategy for those still struggling. You have been through seasons that tried to bury you. Yet, like a seed, you used the darkness to grow roots. The deeper you went in pain, the higher you will rise in purpose. And now, as the soil breaks around you, new life pushes through, steady, certain, unstoppable. People will ask, "How did you do it?" And your answer will be simple: "I didn't. God did." That humility is what magnifies your testimony. The world honors strength. Heaven honors surrender. And you surrendered beautifully. The same tears that once soaked your pillow have become the water that nourished your faith. The nights that once felt endless have turned into mornings filled with gratitude. You no longer carry the heaviness of proving yourself. You now carry the lightness of being chosen. Your life is about to speak louder than your words. You will walk into rooms where people can sense something different before you say a single thing. That is the weight of glory. That is what it feels like to be a vessel of evidence. You're not just blessed, you're marked. Every closed door that once frustrated you now makes sense. God wasn't keeping you out. He was keeping you pure. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. Those delays protected your destiny. If you had been elevated earlier, the wrong people would have shared your platform. Now, you stand refined, grounded, and ready. This is why you carry a calm authority now. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer argue, you embody truth. You no longer seek to be understood. You radiate peace that needs no explanation. That is what happens when God finishes a work inside you. He turns you into living proof. Chosen one. Your life itself has become a sermon. You are preaching with your posture, teaching with your endurance, healing with your presence. You no longer have to convince people that you are chosen. They will see it. The fruit speaks. In the days ahead, opportunities will approach, not because you're striving for them, but because your obedience has magnetized them. The right people, divine resources, and perfect timing will begin to surround you naturally. What you carry cannot be hidden anymore. Light doesn't need permission to shine. When you speak, the atmosphere will shift. When you walk, peace will follow. When you show up, clarity will fill the room. That is what happens when favor finds a faithful heart. It creates undeniable evidence. You have become that evidence, And this is the moment to acknowledge it, to affirm what heaven already knows. Comment, "It's me," not for recognition, but for revelation, because it truly is you. You are the living proof that favor follows obedience, that grace grows in silence, and that God still chooses the humble to display His glory. When you type it, you're not seeking attention, you're confirming identity. You're saying, "Yes, I am the evidence." Let that truth settle deep within you. Walk in it, speak from it, and carry it as your new normal. You no longer hope for favor, you walk in it. You no longer chase miracles, you embody them. You are the sign the world has been waiting for. The proof of your faith is not in what you say, but in what you've survived. Every scar now shines as a map of divine mercy. You are walking scripture, living testimony of God's favor in motion. Each step forward preaches louder than words. That grace doesn't just restore, it transforms completely. There comes a time when heaven decides to place a mantle upon a life, a visible mark of trust and authority. You have reached that time. The hidden seasons have done their work. The refining has been completed. Now, the mantle of reward rests on your shoulders, and it fits perfectly. It is not heavy, because it was tailored through every test you passed. You didn't chase this, you became this. This mantle is not about status, it's about service. You are being clothed in spiritual authority so that your words can heal, your presence can lift, and your faith can break chains for others. Heaven does not promote for applause, it promotes for purpose. The crown placed upon you is not made of gold, but of grace. It shines brighter than recognition because it carries the weight of heaven's trust. The Word of God declares in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." That is what your life has become, a light upon the hill. You once wondered why God isolated you, why He removed people, why certain doors closed. It was because He was positioning you higher so your light could reach further. A city cannot glow if it's buried in the valley. Now that you are elevated, your illumination will guide others through their own dark nights. But remember, light does not struggle to shine, it simply shines. You do not have to strive to keep your flame alive. Stay connected to the source, and your glow will never fade. People will find warmth in your consistency. You will become the calm in their chaos, the steady flame that tells them hope still burns. And as you continue to carry this light, you are also called to protect it, to keep the oil flowing. Oil represents grace, and grace flows through giving. Every time you share truth, every time you lift another soul, every time you pour what you've received, more oil is added to your lamp. When you like this message, it's as though you're placing another drop of oil into that lamp, helping its flame reach someone else lost in the night. When you share it, you're opening a window in someone's dark room, letting a ray of light enter where it's been silent for too long. When you subscribe, think of it as building a house beside this flame, a place where you can return, warm your spirit, and continue growing in faith. And if your heart ever stirs, to go beyond, to donate, to pour back into the message that has poured into you, imagine it as tending the fire. You're not paying for light. You're adding wood to the altar so it can keep burning, guiding countless souls through the storm. Your gift becomes a spark that keeps the glow alive for others still finding their way. There is no demand here, no debt, no pressure. Giving in the kingdom is never a transaction, it's a translation of gratitude. It's your soul saying, I have received, and I wish for others to receive too. You see, the mantle you carry now thrives on generosity, not only with resources, but with love, encouragement, time, and presence. Each act of giving, in any form, multiplies the fire of your calling. The more you release, the brighter the flame becomes. Heaven's economy is not measured in numbers, but in hearts touched. You could give a single act of kindness, a single word of hope, and it will echo eternally. Because what leaves your hands in love never leaves your life. It simply circles back, purified and multiplied. Chosen one. You are not just wearing favor, you are carrying responsibility wrapped in beauty. To hold this mantle is to walk humbly, to know that everything you've received was given so others might believe. You are a vessel of evidence, a carrier of flame. So guard your oil. Keep the fire steady. Let your words be gentle but powerful. Let your life be the sermon you never have to preach. And whenever you feel the flame flicker, return to the source. He never runs out of light. Before you move on, take a moment to breathe. Look at how far you've come. You were once the one searching for light. Now you are the light others will follow. That is the miracle of obedience turned into glory. And as this glow continues to spread through your life and beyond, remember, like, share, subscribe, and if your heart feels led, sow, not because you must, but because you can. Every act keeps the flame alive. Every gesture keeps the message moving. The world needs this light, and it shines through you. Keep it burning. Keep it beautiful. Keep it free. There is a moment after the victory, when the dust settles and silence returns. You stand in the aftermath of the battle, holding not only triumph, but also the memory of every wound. This is where anointing flows, not in the noise of conquest, but in the quiet of recovery. You have walked through betrayal, through loss, through seasons where love felt far and hope felt thin. But somehow, even in the breaking, something sacred remained. The oil of heaven never left you. It only thickened under pressure. The crushing did not destroy you. It distilled you. Now, the fragrance of that oil lingers on everything you touch. The ancient words recorded in the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10, remind us, "But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold." Oh, that verse describes your journey perfectly. Every test has purified your motives. Every heartbreak has refined your discernment. Every disappointment has strengthened your faith. You are not emerging empty. You are emerging valuable. Gold is never fragile. It's formed by fire. And you, too, have been through the flames. The betrayal that once broke you now serves as the testimony that sustains you. The people who left taught you to lean on the one who never will. Every tear became a teacher. Every silence became scripture written upon your heart. You have learned what few truly understand, that pain can polish purpose. Now, in this quiet after the storm, you carry a new kind of power. It's not loud or boastful. It's calm and steady. It doesn't need to announce itself, because it moves naturally. This is the authority of the healed, the strength of those who no longer need to prove they've survived. You walk differently now, not with pride, but with peace. There's a rhythm to your steps that only comes from someone who has wrestled with God and lived. You've been through the valley and returned carrying oil for others. You can now recognize the pain behind another's smile, because you once wore that same disguise. Anointing doesn't erase the memory of pain, it redeems it. Every memory that once brought sorrow now carries wisdom. You know when to speak and when to stay silent. You discern what is true and what only appears holy. That is the fruit of the crushing. It makes you see clearly. This anointing that rests upon you now isn't merely for comfort. It's for assignment. God has entrusted you with empathy that can heal, with words that can awaken, with presence that can anchor others in faith. You may not have asked for this calling, but you were built for it. Heaven doesn't choose those who seek the spotlight. It chooses those who have survived the fire. The same God who allowed the breaking now releases the blessing. The oil flows from the same place where the pain once pressed. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet assurance, that soft glow of peace that follows deep surrender. It's not adrenaline, it's anointing. And though it's invisible, its effect is undeniable. Your words carry a weight that hearts can feel. Your prayers have authority because they come from experience, not theory. When you speak, heaven leans closer. When you intercede, atmospheres shift. That is the power of oil born from endurance. Do not fear being vulnerable with your story. Your transparency is not weakness, it's healing for others. When you reveal your scars, you show others that wholeness is possible. The oil flows strongest through cracked vessels, because light needs somewhere to shine through. This anointing will follow you wherever you go, in the ordinary and the sacred, in the workplace and the quiet room. It will rest upon you like breath. You won't always feel it, but others will. People will say, "There's something about you," without knowing it's the residue of divine encounter. Chosen one. The season of mourning has shifted into a season of ministry. You no longer cry for rescue, you cry for revelation. You no longer seek escape, you seek expansion. You've turned your wounds into wells, and whoever drinks from the wisdom you now carry will taste grace. You are not just anointed, you are appointed. The oil that came through pain will now build something eternal. You will touch lives without even trying, simply by being who you've become. Your life itself has become prayer in motion, an altar that never stops burning. Walk gently in this new season. Let humility protect what honor has placed on you. The anointing you carry was expensive. It cost tears, nights of silence, and moments of surrender. But it was worth every drop, because now your life pours heaven wherever it goes. There is something different about you now. You move with a quiet confidence that cannot be faked, a peace that does not depend on circumstance. This is what divine distinction looks like. You've been marked not by what the world calls success, but by the signature of heaven's favor. The difference is visible, yet inexplicable. You carry something others can feel before you ever speak. This distinction isn't about superiority, it's about purpose. It means you've been set apart for something sacred. It's not pride that sets you apart, it's purity. The path you walked wasn't easy because you were never called to blend in. You were shaped differently because you were designed to shine differently. The writings of Moses record these words in the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse 16. What else will distinguish me and your people from all the other people on the face of the earth? That same question echoes in your heart, but this time It is not asked in confusion. It is answered in clarity. What distinguishes you now is not appearance, wealth, or influence. It is the unmistakable fragrance of favor that surrounds your life. You are recognized in the spirit realm. Heaven knows your name, and the earth is beginning to respond to it. When you walk into a room, peace follows. When you speak, the atmosphere adjusts. When you pray, things move. That's what divine distinction does. It shifts the unseen before it ever shows in the visible. You don't chase attention anymore. You carry presence. People may not fully understand what's changed about you, but they'll feel it. Some will be drawn to it. Others may distance themselves from it, but all will recognize it. That's because favor cannot be hidden, and anointing cannot be imitated. You are walking evidence of what happens when obedience meets grace. This distinction didn't come overnight. It was born through years of surrender, through choosing to stay true when shortcuts looked easier. You were refined until your heart could carry the weight of this new level. What you wear now is not just blessing, it's identity. The mark of divine distinction shows in how you respond to storms. While others panic, you pray. While others seek revenge, you release forgiveness. While others chase validation, you stay still and let God speak for you. That composure is your crown. It tells heaven and hell alike that you know who you are and whose you are. You may not realize it, but people are watching you quietly. They are studying your peace, your patience, your perseverance. They see how you handle pressure and how you love without conditions. You've become a silent sermon of what divine favor looks like in motion, without preaching. You are preaching, without striving. You are influencing. In this season, your distinction will draw opportunities that feel almost effortless. You won't need to compete or convince. The right doors will recognize the sound of your obedience and open naturally. That's the beauty of being marked by heaven. What's meant for you cannot miss you. But distinction also carries responsibility. The light that rests upon you must be stewarded with humility. You are now a mirror, reflecting heaven's goodness wherever you go. Don't dim it to make others comfortable. Don't flaunt it to prove your worth. Simply walk in it. The right hearts will honor what you carry. Chosen one. This mark is also protection. While some chase visibility, God gave you discernment. Your favor will open rooms, but your wisdom will know which ones to enter. Every step forward will be guided, not by ambition, but by divine timing. You've reached the point where you no longer measure progress by applause. Your success is measured in peace. The distinction upon your life is not loud, it's luminous. It doesn't shout, it shines. And the world needs that light now more than ever. Take this moment to acknowledge what has changed. You're no longer waiting for permission to shine. You've realized you were the permission all along. Everything about your journey was designed to prepare you for this radiant version of yourself. And now, as heaven looks upon you with delight, let your spirit respond. Comment 555 below, not as a ritual, but as recognition. The number 555 represents divine transformation and grace for new beginnings. When you type it, let it be your declaration. I accept my distinction. I walk in divine identity. I move in heaven's rhythm. It is not about superstition, it's about synchronization. You're aligning yourself with the truth of who you've become, chosen, refined, marked, and favored. This is your confirmation. You are not common. You are the light that was hidden for such a time as this. You carry heaven's fingerprint, and the world will never be the same because of it. There are seasons when heaven works quietly, building what you cannot yet see. Then comes a shift, the moment when God begins to reveal what he has been doing all along. You are stepping into that unveiling now. The private process is turning into public proof. The prayers you whispered in the dark are about to echo in the light. For a long time, it seemed like nothing was happening. You wondered if your faith was reaching past the ceiling. You sowed words of hope, but the soil looked dry. What you didn't know was that heaven had been writing a story underneath your stillness. And now, the author has turned the page. This is the chapter of Revelation. The book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17, records this timeless truth. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. And that is what is happening to you now. The things God whispered privately are about to become visible publicly. The promises you guarded quietly will soon be seen openly. Every unseen investment is coming to harvest. Every hidden obedience is now demanding recognition. But this unveiling is not about your glory, it's about his faithfulness. The world will see what endurance can produce. The testimony that once lived in your heart will begin to walk in your life. You will not need to convince anyone. Your fruit will do the speaking. The fragrance of fulfillment will rest upon you like dawn light. You have spent so long being faithful when no one applauded that it will feel strange at first when favor begins to announce you. Don't resist it. This is not pride, it is prophecy fulfilled. You are stepping into what was promised. You are the visible evidence that waiting on God is never wasted. There will be moments when you sense a holy spotlight, situations where people who never noticed you begin to take interest. Do not fear that attention. It is not for performance, but for purpose. God is revealing you to the right audience at the right time. What he hid, he now highlights. Your story was not delayed, it was developed. Had it unfolded earlier, it might have been misunderstood, but now it will be undeniable. You are the living translation of grace, once hidden, now displayed. As the unveiling continues, you'll see why the secrecy was necessary. Some parts of your process needed silence so that no one could take credit. The isolation preserved the purity of your growth. If others had been watching too soon, they might have misinterpreted your preparation as punishment. But God knew exactly when to pull back the curtain. This revelation will not arrive as sudden chaos, but as divine order. It will look like pieces fitting together, like clarity appearing where confusion once lived. The events of your past will begin to make sense, as if 1,000 scattered puzzle pieces suddenly formed a picture. Chosen one. Heaven is releasing confirmation after confirmation, small signs that remind you the unveiling has begun. People will reach out unexpectedly. Opportunities you once prayed for will return. But now they'll fit better, because you've grown into the version of yourself that can sustain them. Even your voice has changed. When you speak now, it carries weight, because it comes from a place of truth. There's authority behind your words that can't be taught. It's earned through perseverance. That's why the unveiling isn't about visibility, it's about validation. Heaven validates what endurance built. There is also restoration woven into this revelation. What was taken will return with interest. Relationships once fractured will be healed in surprising ways. Dreams you thought were gone will reappear alive and refined. This is God's way of saying, "I never forgot." The unveiling also means responsibility. As favor grows, humility must grow with it. Never forget the hidden years that shaped you. They are the reason your heart can handle this exposure. When the world begins to see you, stay small in spirit. Let gratitude be your anchor. Your life will soon mirror the message you've been speaking, that unseen obedience produces undeniable glory. When people witness what's unfolding, some will call it luck. Others will call it timing, but you will know it's grace. It always was. The unveiling is here, not loud, not rushed, but certain. You will see it in your peace, in your provision, in the gentle rhythm of things aligning without effort. What was once a private promise has become a public display of faithfulness, and when you stand in that light, remember, the same God who revealed you is the one who prepared you. Stay close to Him. Stay grounded in gratitude. This is not the end of your story. It is the continuation of His glory through you. Restoration doesn't always arrive the way you expect it. It rarely shouts. It usually whispers. It slips into your life through ordinary days, through quiet moments when you least anticipate it. One morning, you realize the ache you carried for years has softened. The wound that once defined you no longer stings. You smile without effort. That is restoration, not the return of what was lost, but the renewal of who you are. For a long time, you thought restoration meant getting everything back. But now you see, it means getting yourself back. The version of you that laughs freely, prays boldly, and dreams again. God is not just giving you what was taken, He is giving you back the joy you forgot was possible. The prophet Joel wrote in chapter 2, verse 25, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." End of. Those words are not poetic comfort, they are spiritual law. Time itself bends to the command of restoration. What you thought was wasted will now produce. What you thought was destroyed will now deliver. The years that felt stolen are returning, not as replicas, but as redemption. This restoration comes in layers. First, God restores your peace. You wake up without dread, realizing the war inside you has gone quiet. Then He restores your confidence, showing you that failure was never final, it was formative. And then He restores your vision, giving you new dreams to replace the ones that died too soon. Each layer prepares your heart for the next. Restoration is not revenge. It is not about proving anyone wrong. It is about proving God right, that His plans are still good, that His love still heals, and that His timing is still perfect. You no longer need to replay old hurts. Heaven has already rewritten the ending. When God restores, He doesn't return things to their former state. He multiplies them. Like the tide returning to the shore, it comes back deeper, wider, fuller. You will look at what was broken and realize it became the foundation for something stronger. You'll thank God not just for what He gave back, but for what He changed inside you. During the waiting, you may find yourself revisiting old places, conversations, or memories, but now, they don't hurt. They teach. The same things that once made you weep now make you wise. You no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" but "What did this make of me?" That's when you know restoration has done its work. Chosen one, Your story has entered its double-portion chapter. You will see it in subtle ways, the right people returning, lost opportunities finding their way back, new paths forming from old pain. Some blessings will arrive disguised as second chances. Others will come as brand new beginnings. Every one of them will carry the fingerprints of divine mercy. And when restoration begins to overflow, remember the rhythm: receive, rejoice, release. What comes to you is meant to flow through you. The same comfort you once needed, you will now give. The same peace you prayed for will now rest upon those near you. You become a vessel of restoration for others. That is how God completes His work, by letting healed people heal others. The beauty of this season is that it feels both familiar and new. Familiar. Because it restores the joy you once knew. New. Because it surpasses what you ever imagined. It's the more than enough chapter, the part of your life that proves God not only restores but rewards. And through it all, gratitude will be your melody. You will no longer cry over what was taken, because you will be too busy thanking God for what was returned, multiplied. The emptiness that once echoed in your soul will now be filled with peace so profound that words will fail to describe it. Restoration is not a single event. It is a continual flow. Every day, something small will heal a thought, a memory, a fear, and each healing will add another note to your song of renewal. When you finally step back and look at it all, you will understand that nothing was truly lost. It was simply being prepared for return. You will see that restoration was never about recovering the past. It was about revealing the purpose hidden inside the pain. And as this truth settles into your heart, you will know that the promise has come full circle. What was once broken is now beautiful. What was once missing is now multiplied. What was once painful is now purposeful. That is the quiet triumph of restoration. There comes a time in every divine journey when the crown must be claimed, not the kind forged in gold, but the one woven from endurance. You have reached that time. Every test, every tear, every act of silent obedience has been crafting this crown for you. And now, heaven says, wear it. This crown is not heavy, because it does not rest on pride, it rests on purpose. It was never about glory or recognition. It was always about readiness. You have been prepared to carry light in dark places, to walk with grace through storms, and to lead not by words, but by example. That is the authority of the obedient. As the Apostle Paul wrote to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 25, they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we, an incorruptible. Your crown is incorruptible because it was earned through purity, not popularity. It cannot be stolen, sold, or diminished. It gleams with the reflection of your choices, the ones made when no one applauded, when obedience felt lonely, when faith felt fragile, but you stood anyway. That quiet endurance has made you royalty in heaven's eyes. Now, you stand at a turning point where your light is not just for you, it's for the world around you. God did not give you this crown so you could hide it. He gave it so you could illuminate others. But to keep the light bright, it must be tended. Light needs oil, flame needs air, and the heart needs gratitude. When you like this message, imagine it as lifting your torch higher. You're not simply pressing a button, you're sending a spark into the night. A signal to someone else wandering in the dark that they are not alone. Your single gesture can light the path for another soul, still searching for hope. When you share it, picture it as passing the flame from one candle to another. The light you carry multiplies without losing any of its glow. Every share is an act of generosity, a quiet offering of warmth to someone whose fire is fading. When you subscribe, think of it as stepping into a circle of light, a gathering place for kindred spirits who believe that faith still changes things, that hope still heals, that love still wins. It's not about joining, it's about belonging. It's choosing to stay close to the fire that once rekindled yours. And if your heart ever stirs deeper to donate, to give, to sow into the light that has spoken to your soul, imagine it as adding another log to a living flame. You are not paying for a message, you are building an altar. You are helping the light travel further, touching corners of the world where the night still feels endless. There is no demand here, no obligation, only invitation, giving, sharing. Supporting these are not transactions but translations of gratitude. They say, "This light reached me, and I want it to reach someone else." Every act of generosity becomes part of the story, woven into the fire itself. And if this message touches something deep inside you, leave a word, just one spark in the comments. Think of it as breathing gently on the flame, reminding heaven that the light is still alive in you. Each word written there becomes a flicker that joins countless others, forming a constellation of faith across the darkness. This is how crowns are maintained, not through hoarding, but through giving. The hands that share are the ones that stay anointed. The hearts that give freely never run empty. When you pour into light, the same light pours back into you, filling your spirit with quiet joy. Your life, chosen one, has become a living beacon. People may not know your name, but they will feel your presence. They'll sense the peace that follows you, the gentleness that lingers after you leave a room. That's what it means to wear the crown. Well, it's not seen on your head but felt through your heart. The more you honor that light, the stronger it grows. Gratitude becomes your oxygen, and giving becomes your rhythm. The world will begin to notice, not because you shout, but because you shine. So, wear your crown humbly. Let kindness be its jewels. Let grace be its gold. Let compassion be its shine. The crown was never given for status. It was entrusted for service. And as you walk forward, remember that even light needs tending. Like, share, subscribe, leave your spark below. And if your heart ever feels led, give not out of duty, but delight. Every gesture is a note in heaven's melody, a whisper that says, "I keep the fire alive." Oh, you are crowned not just to carry glory, but to continue the glow. Keep it burning. Keep it beautiful. Keep it free. Something has shifted in the atmosphere around your life. You may not fully see it yet, but you can feel it, the subtle ease, the quiet flow, the way things begin to align without effort. That is what happens when glory moves. Divine favor is no longer a promise hovering above you, it is motion surrounding you. What was once distant is drawing near. What was once delayed is now being delivered. This is not coincidence, it's divine choreography. Heaven has been arranging the rhythm, preparing the stage, setting the right timing. You are not moving randomly. You are being guided with precision. The steps that once seemed uncertain are now landing perfectly on beat. You are walking in rhythm with grace itself. The psalmist declared in the book of Psalms, chapter 37. Verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. That truth now defines your journey. Every movement, every decision, every pause has been quietly orchestrated by heaven. Even when you thought you were wandering, you were walking inside divine order. Every detour was direction. Every delay was design. God has been guiding you not with a map, but with music. Now, you are walking through an open field of grace, and the wind is at your back. Opportunities are not being chased, they are being magnetized to your name. The right connections, resources, and moments are aligning effortlessly. It is as though heaven has whispered your name into the wind, and the earth is responding. This is the power of divine momentum. It doesn't rush. It flows. You are not being pushed. You are being carried. Every step you take feels lighter because the weight is no longer yours to bear. You've learned to trust the timing, to let go of forcing outcomes, to rest in the knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you. There's something freeing about living in that awareness. You stop competing. You stop comparing. You stop trying to prove. You begin to flow with faith instead of fighting with fear. That flow becomes your signature, the evidence of favor at work. People will notice peace around you and not understand it, but you will know. It's the sound of grace in motion. The things that used to drain you will now begin to serve you. Even your mistakes will be recycled into meaning. You will look back and realize that nothing was wasted, not a tear, not a waiting season, not a single closed door. Everything has been turned into motion toward your destiny. You have entered the space where struggle turns into stride. Your faith no longer feels like a battle. It feels like breathing. You don't wake up wondering how it will happen. You wake up expecting it to. That shift in mindset is not optimism, it's trust. It's the reward of consistency in belief. Chosen one, this is the moment when you begin to see yourself as God sees you, not as someone trying to arrive, but as someone already aligned. You no longer need to beg heaven for blessings. You simply receive them as a child of promise. The atmosphere around you confirms it. There is a rhythm of grace moving with you everywhere you go. This divine motion will touch every part of your life: relationships, finances, creativity, and even healing. What once moved slowly will now accelerate. What once resisted you will begin to welcome you. This is not the wind of change, it is the wind of fulfillment. And as you flow in this momentum, remember, movement requires mindfulness. Do not let speed replace sensitivity. Stay close to the stillness that started it all. The same quiet voice that guided you through the wilderness will guide you through the wide open fields. Listen for it. It will always lead you home. The glory in motion around your life is not random, it is revelation unfolding. You are not chasing blessing anymore. Blessing is walking beside you. The proof is in the peace. The presence that once felt far now feels near. The promise that once seemed delayed is now alive, pulsing through every moment. You have become part of heaven's rhythm, steady, sure, and full of light. Keep moving with grace. Everything that was meant for you is already finding its way home. You are walking within the current of divine purpose. Every breath, every heartbeat, every step now echoes heaven's design, proof that you are exactly where grace intended. Let peace be your pace. You no longer chase miracles, you walk among them. The path ahead glows softly, lit by favor, that will never fade. There is a sacred stillness that follows completion, the quiet hum of heaven when a divine assignment has been fulfilled. You are standing in that stillness now. What began as confusion has become clarity. What started as struggle has become strength. You are no longer striving to prove you're chosen. You're simply living as one who knows it. The journey has come full circle, and the purpose of every season is now revealed in peace. Completion in the kingdom is not an ending, it's a beginning wearing a crown. It means something has reached maturity, an inner work that now bears visible fruit. You have become the living evidence of transformation, a walking testimony of grace perfected through process. Every tear, every test, every act of faith has shaped you into a vessel capable of carrying more than blessing, it carries glory. The scriptures reveal this truth in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Elbow. This verse was never about rushing toward perfection. It was always about trusting the process. God finishes what he starts. You are not a half-written story, you are a masterpiece still unfolding. And heaven takes its time with masterpieces. The brush strokes of patience, endurance, and faith have painted a portrait that only divine eyes could envision. Now, you stand as the finished work of a season, not because everything is flawless, but because everything is aligned. The chaos that once surrounded you has turned into clarity. The waiting that once wore you down has become worship, and the silence that once frightened you has become sanctuary. Completion feels different than victory. Victory shouts, completion sighs. Victory celebrates what you overcame. Completion honors who you became. It's softer, deeper, quieter, but infinitely stronger. This is the moment when your soul exhales and whispers, "It was all worth it." And in this sacred quiet, you begin to notice how seamlessly heaven's fingerprints cover your timeline. The rejections that once broke you now look like divine redirections. The pauses that once felt like punishment now appear as protection. You realize that not one thing was wasted. Every thread, even the dark ones, was needed for the pattern to shine. Completion brings awareness, a clear sense that everything happened for you, not to you. The people who left taught you release. The pain that stayed taught you resilience. The blessings that came late taught you reverence. Nothing was random. Every detail was divinely measured to build a faith that could hold eternal weight. Chosen one. You've become the quiet miracle others have been praying for. You no longer need to announce that God has been good. Your presence already proves it. You are peace walking. You are grace breathing. You are strength disguised as stillness. You've entered a chapter where rest is the new reward. The striving has ceased. Not because the work is done, but because the worker has matured. You understand now that the same God who worked in your waiting is still working in your winning. He never stops creating through you. From this place of peace, you will begin to see the next horizon. Completion does not mean retirement. It means readiness. What you carry now will multiply naturally. You don't have to plan expansion. It will happen because the seed has matured. What once required effort will now move effortlessly, and as you walk forward, you'll find that your steps no longer echo loneliness, but legacy. The places you pass through will remember you, the peace you carried, the words you spoke, the grace you left behind. You won't just live purpose, you'll leave it. The fullness of this season is not about what you've gained, but about what you've become. You've become the reflection of faith refined, the sound of perseverance fulfilled, the fragrance of glory revealed. You've become what heaven always saw in you. So rest in this holy quiet. Let it wash over you like the final note of a song perfectly played. The story isn't ending, it's breathing, expanding, preparing for another beginning. Completion is not closure, it's continuation. The work that started in you will continue to ripple through generations. You are finished for now, but not done forever. You are proof that God completes what He calls. Completion is peace wearing purpose. You no longer chase what was promised, you walk within it. Every breath now carries the quiet certainty of destiny fulfilled. The heavens rest as you do. What once was struggle has become song soft, steady, eternal. You have become the harmony between obedience and glory. If this message has stirred something within you, pause here. Let gratitude settle deep. What you've just journeyed through wasn't merely words. It was a mirror showing who you've become. You have walked the full circle of faith. And now, light rests on you differently. Every story that reaches its close deserves a gentle echo, a way to keep the fire glowing beyond the final line. When you like this message, think of it as striking a match in the dark, a single spark that tells the universe, I am still burning with purpose. And when you share it, imagine setting a lantern afloat on a calm river, letting your light drift to hearts you may never meet, but who need it now more than ever. When you subscribe, you're not just joining a channel, you're stepping into a living rhythm of faith, a circle of souls who refuse to let hope go silent. It's a quiet promise to stay connected to what uplifts and transforms. And if your heart feels led to give, see it as planting a seed in eternal soil. You're not donating to a cause, you're watering a garden of light that continues to bloom long after the words fade from your screen. Finally, take a breath and, if you wish, leave a comment, a word, a symbol, a whisper of your heart. Every message written there becomes another spark in this constellation of faith, proof that the flame still spreads. You are part of something sacred now, a movement of light disguised as stories, carried by chosen hearts like yours. Keep shining, keep giving, keep becoming. The light you nurture here will keep finding its way home.